Oh, hello. In today's video, we're going to talk about the official Kill Team app, how I'm really glad it exists, but despite that, I don't want to use it, and then we're going to give you a video review of Kill Team Battlekit, which is the third-party app that I've been using instead. So let's talk a little bit first about the official app. So for those of you that don't know, obviously we've got all the PDF rules for all the teams on the Warhammer Community website. And then there's also a free app that you can download on Android and iOS. And it is genuinely fantastic that the free app exists, okay? Because it means that all those rules are freely available and they're easily accessible. Not everybody these days has a desktop computer, necessarily. Some people, their phone or their tablet is, the only thing that they really use. They use their tablet to watch YouTube, whatever, and they paint models, and they don't necessarily have a big desktop computer. So downloading PDF files can be a little barrier. For those of you that haven't played around with the app, it is just a PDF viewer, but the PDFs that you're viewing are not the same PDFs that are on Warcom. So on Warcom, the PDFs are made up as if to be sent to be printed in a book. But actually, for a lot of the things in the app, as you can see in this little screenshot, a lot of the things that you're looking at is actually the PDFs of the faction cards that they sent away to be printed and sold as packages. So they've given you the high-res originals for all those faction decks as well, which is great. It means that we have access to those high-res images, really useful for YouTubers. But the app itself is really quite clunky to use. It's okay. It is usable. But it's not the most responsive thing in the world. And it doesn't just... For me, there's too many clicks in between wanting to check a ploy, and then wanting to check a stat line, and then wanting to check what my equipment does, having to go back out to this menu each time. It's a lot of clicks on my phone. So I prefer to use Kill Team Battlekit. So I'm glad the app's there. It does have the benefit of being always up to date, right? Because it's made by Games Workshop, so they can be making like the rules for the new Ratling team and the new Orc team, putting it in their internal build of their app, ready to push it out live on the right day and all that sort of stuff. So it does have that massive advantage, but I just don't like the experience of using it. So I'm going to give you a quick demo of Battlekit now, and then we'll come back to the slide deck at the end and kind of weigh up our final thoughts. Okay, seamlessly done. This is the Kill Team Battlekit. Now, this is my best ability to approximate what it will look like if you load it up on a phone or on a tablet computer. So you're greeted by this page here, which isn't... What this page is it emulates the... the little leaflet you get in the approved ops that tells you exactly what you need to do, right? So it emulates this. So I'll just take you through. First of all, there is a dark mode. I generally prefer it in dark mode, right? And I think actually it's probably better for the video as well. So we're going to leave it in dark mode, but the dark light mode toggle is up there, right? So Kill Team 3 Battlekit. So we've got one, set up the battle. Each player selects a kill team for the battle, determine the kill zone, terrain features, determine the crit op, roll off. The player of the initiative selects the drop zone, select operatives, and it runs you through all the steps for this. Each player randomly secretly selects the operatives. Each player secretly selects up to 4 equipment options. Each player gains 2 CP. Each player secretly selects Tac Ops from one of their kill team's archetypes. Tells you how to set up your operatives, tells you how to do the scouting phase, play the battle, and then end the battle, right? So it's that. Now, here there are blue arrows. So if we click on the blue arrow, this takes us to this screen here. I'm just going to pop back for a second. Back to the game sequence. And this takes us to the select operative screen. Now, select operatives is going to get me to log in. So you do have to create an account. Without an account, you can still see the game sequence page, the approved ops page, and the Tac Ops page, okay? So we're going to just log in, and I'm going to log in here with my details. This is going to be masked off, right? So I'm not doxing myself. That's good. And I'll log in. So now I'm logged in. So now if I go back to that game sequence page, So you can see everything is navigable through this side menu here, right? Click on the lines at the top. It's good. By the way, I'm a computer science teacher, so I will tell you for free, this is good HCI. I really like it. I think this is a really well put together tool, unlike some other tools I could mention. I really enjoy the way that it is put together. You can flip the language over to Spanish, I think, down the bottom here. You can log out, you can do your profile settings, dashboard, your games, tier list, game rules, faction rules, Tac Ops, approved ops, game sequence. So, and then contact the creator, and if you want a tip, you can tip there. So, we're on the game sequence page. So we can click on here to set up a battle. Now, this page that we've come to is exactly the same page as if we'd clicked on approved ops here, right? So this is great. This is a really interesting tool. So what you can do is you can go, okay, I want to play open game, I can play close quarters, or I want to play beta decima, and the game will generate for you a mission. So if you want to, you can go, oh, generate a mission, right? And it says, okay, you're playing secure on map 4, and here's your card key. Oh, you're playing secure on map 3, loot on map 3, power surge on map 2, upload on map 3, right? And you've got the rule and the rule. Now, you may not use it. You know, obviously at a tournament you wouldn't use this, okay? And yes, you've got your approved ops cards and you could just shuffle them and draw them, but this is quite cool. And what I also like is you can press this show all button. These are really good, high quality, high res images of the maps that you can have, and you can zoom in. And I've used these in videos and stuff, and he's made these from the cards. They're really nice, really, really good. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, as I was saying, so you can get on and you can look at all the different maps, which is really cool, right? Really good resource. So we'll close that off. So yeah, all the maps, all the missions, and we scroll down, we can get all of the maps of Beta Decima, as well as the maps for Into the Dark. Brilliant. So that's that section. We go to the next section along, we can see Tac Ops, and we can see all of the Tac Ops. Now, if you want to, you can favourite them, and then you can filter just your favourites. So if we say, well, I really like Confirm Kill, and then we go Favourites, and there's Confirm Kill, okay? And when we can use the drop down here to just show me the security, there they are. Just show me Seek and Destroy, there they are. So you've got those as well. Faction rules. So here we've got, now here's where there is a slight downside. This list is expanding all the time, but he doesn't have yet every single team. So, for example, who's not here? The Warp Coven, right? So I can't get on yet and look at Warp Coven, right? Because they'd be in this Chaos Factions. But I can see my beloved Nemesis Claw, so we'll go with those. So we click onto Nemesis Claw, right? I've started life on the Equipment tab, but we can go back to the start. So racial, okay, so we know that we have Seek and Destroy and Infiltration. It gives us our roster, so we've got all the rules here for how we actually draw down our kill team, and then we've got our special rules down here. So on this tab, your special rules and your army construction rules. Onto operatives, and you can see that he's recreated all of the cards, right, for all of the operatives. So Visionary, Fearmonger, Screecher, Skin Thief, Ventriloquist, Heavy Gunner, Warrior, everything's there, right? All the information that you could want, which is great. If we go on to the Tac Ops, we've got all of the Tac Ops that are available to this team, so we don't have to go back to that other page with the big menu of Tac Ops to pick our Tac Ops. We can just pick the Tac Ops that we actually want, right? Great. We've got our ploys, right? All fit nicely on one screen, all really short. So on the Tac Ops, you've got this big card graphic. The ploys, it's just the text, which is great. And then we've got our equipment as well. Everything you could want as a reference. And I think, I mean, this page, this section, just this faction rules section, this replaces everything the Games Workshop app, the official one, actually does, right? Everything else I've shown you on top is not something the Games Workshop app tries to do. And this is easier to navigate on a phone, or I use a little Fire tablet when I'm playing these games. and it's just you just scroll up and down. It's not a huge thing to scroll. It's all there. And you're not loading new cards. You want to flick back, you can go to a Midnight Clad, you can flip back, you can go up, you can go back to Operatives, Tac Ops. It's really straightforward. If your opponent's doing something strange and you want to just quickly check it up, you can do that easily at the top. So I'm playing against Zimbad, I go Angels of Death, I can read his ploys, I can remember what he does and what options he has, I can go to Racial, I can try and remember all of his chapter tactics that he has and make sure that I remind myself what he can do. It's all really easy, right? And most of the teams are here, okay? It's just that we haven't quite got every team yet. But he's certainly working towards them, okay? So, back here, next we've got game rules. So this is just a really good glossary. The page I use the most while playing is the Universal Equipment tab. So this gets me all the universal equipment, and I can look at it at a glance, including the rules for the grenades, smoke grenades, stun grenades, barricades, portable barricades, all these things. I can even go, I've never needed to do this at the game side, but he's got a version of all the core rules from the rulebook, written out with command reroll. We've got the actions, and again, the basic rules for all of this. I haven't had to reference this stuff. Weapon keywords are really good. Oh, and I almost forgot, sorry. One of the best things, if we go back to the faction rules, if we go to the operatives, so let's say here, let's say that we forget what shock does. If we hover over that, or on a phone, if you tap on it with your finger, it will come up and it will tell you a version of what the shock rule does as well, right there from the card. Really important feature, okay? Sorry, I forgot about that. Back to the game rules, we've got the weapon rules, yeah, all there if you need to look through them, and the terrain rules as well. Not necessarily something I'd reference in the middle of a game from the app here, but it's nice to have it there. Really, everything you could more or less want from Kill Team in terms of reference is here in this app, so really nicely put together. Some of these images look a bit weird. It's just because I'm on dark mode. If I put it on light mode, the images actually look much nicer because they don't have a little white border around them. But I generally prefer the experience on dark mode, right? It looks good. So we then got... Now this is a bit weird. So the guy who makes this is part of the Spanish scene. And so embedded in their app, they have their tier list, the Kill Team Mercenarios. So this is Ace and his kind of group. Now, being English speaking, right, I have no access. This is the explanation for this tier list will be in a podcast somewhere, so I might not want to know why, for example, why do the Kill Team Mercenarios think that Legionaries are better than Nemesis Claw? Because I don't agree, but I can't find that information out very easily, which is just there to annoy you. I think there's a really cool podcast, but it's in Spanish, so you can't, unless you speak Spanish, in which case all more power to you. But in fairness, if you speak Spanish, then you probably are involved already in this community, and you probably already use this website, right? So I'm trying to do is expose it to the English-speaking world, because I don't think it's very widely used, even though, like, Glass Half Dead did a video about it as well. Still, when I mention it in my Discord, I've got people going, what's that? I've never heard of it, right? So that's what that is. That's the tier list for this community in this part of the world. I've just seen Squad Games have put a tier list up. Their tier list is different, right? So every meta's going to have their own ideas. But that's just a funny little extra bit. Now we get onto the really cool features. So your games. So I've played one game with Zimbad, right? And it's logged it for me. So this is my game. I played it 2 days ago. It was Night Lords versus Angels of Death. It was 12-12. I was the Night Lord, so my score's in blue. It hasn't recorded the name of my opponent, right? But I'm the owner of the game. It was a draw, and I don't know what that one does. Oh, I can lock, share, open, and delete. So if I have a game that isn't a real game, I can delete. I can add notes. I can just, for my own personal records. I can like keep a record of all the games of Kill Team that I play this edition. I have them all on this page. So if I want to, let's see. I've not tried this yet. If I add notes, let's write first game versus Zimbad, right? And then if I can, I could attach. There we go. I've added some notes. Where do they go? Oh, they're just in there. Okay, well that's fine, right? I could share a link to it. I can lock this. I can open it. I can delete it. But it's nice to have. I don't fully understand these features, but it's nice to. What happens if I lock it? If I lock it, I won't be able to modify it. Except game locked. Okay, but I can. I can open the game. That's it, and I can go back to the score. So this is kind of spoilers. So this is. I can actually go back and review. The scores for. I can't. I thought I could, but it's going to ask me about initiative. But I can at least see the state of the end, so that's nice. I'll show you the dashboard from the ground up. So this is the dashboard of like my stats. I've played one game, right? So I have a win rate of 50% after one game because I drew. And then an ITC ranking, which I'm sure is not something I care about, right? I've played one game per month, and I've won, and I've played once on Open, but it's nice to have those stats, right? Now, if we go to, it now says game in progress because I opened this game again. So what I need to do is end, accept, end. How do I... Oh... This is really embarrassing now, because I'm in the middle of recording, and I've accidentally, I want to finish the game, accept, yes, good, back to there. So I'm going to go do, yes, new game, this is the button I was looking for. So I press new game, right, so again, I can select my faction, so I'm going to select Nemesis Claw. I'll say I'm playing against Zimbad. I'm not really, but let's say I am. And let's say that he's playing Angels of Death, and we're having a rematch, and we're playing an open game. Create. And we get this screen. So let's just pretend he's got the initiative. So let's look at this. So there's loads of features here. You've got a spinner for your CP. Okay, so as you spend CP, you can take them away there. Okay. You can, you have to tell it how many minutes you have. It would be great if, first piece of feedback, would it not be possible for it to go, you're playing Nemesis Claw, I know that that's 6 miniatures, so that's not something you have to set, I don't know. Maybe I'm asking too much. It's got a built-in clock. Personally, I wouldn't personally use that. Now that I've put the clock on, I don't know how to take it out of clock mode. But there we go. Pause. There we are. Right. So as you kill models, you can put the kills up here. And it calculates the score for kill points. Okay. So as you're going through, you can go, cool. I've killed one, and he's killed one. We've had an eventful turn one. We'll go into turning point 2. Who's got the initiative? Let's say I got the initiative. So it gives the CP. So, again... 1 second. I keep being interrupted today. So, if we go into turning point 2, and we say that the Nemesis Claw have the initiative, and then let's spend some CP. Let's say we both go down to 0 CP. Let's say that we have, turning point 2, so I'll score my 2 points. He scores his 2 points. The end of the turn, we score up the critical objective, like that, let's say, right? And then we're going to turning point 3. Nemesis Claw have the initiative, and this time I've set it up properly, so it gives me the 1 CP because I've got the initiative. He goes up to 2 CP because he has the initiative. Some more stuff happens, right? People die. Sure, so let's sort that out. Models killed is here. Right, in turning point 3, let's say I get my crit and my tac, and he gets his tac, crit, and his tac, like this, and we score all the points. and we spend some CP, and you just track all these things, and it's really cool. And then we go to 10.4, and let's say I got the initiative again, so again you see it gives out the CP, and so on and so on and so on, right? And then we go to the end of the game, and we would reveal our primary, right? So crit up, accept, and then you pick Tac Ops, accept, and then we get the Tac Ops, and we make sure that we selected those in as well. That's probably helpful. And then we press end, and we press accept, and it works out the final thing, right? So really good, really fun, really nice to use. A great way of tracking exactly what's happened, and it records all your stuff for you. You know, when you finish the game, and then you can finish, and then that's it, right? There is also a dice roller. I personally would never use that. I think that's kind of silly, but there you go. That exists. Okay, you can do other things, but yeah, that's my finished game, and accept. That's good. So now I've got this game, which isn't real, right? It's one that I've just made up. So I'm just going to click here, and I'm going to delete the game. See, that's in Spanish. I can guess what it says. And that is a recurring thing with this app occasionally, because it was developed in Spanish first. Occasionally you're going to get a Spanish thing. It probably says, "Are you sure you want to delete the game?" And I'm going to go, yes. So I've got my real game there. That's good. And that's basically that. That's Kill Team Battlekit. I think it's really good. So if you bear with me, we're going to head back to the slide deck in just a hot second. Okay, let's have a summary. So I really enjoyed using Kill Team Battlekit as a tableside aid and as a quick online rules reference. So it does it when making videos. So it fills both holes for me. Like, obviously I have the rules on PDFs on Warcom. I have the core rules on the bookshelf in the living room, and all these things. But my go-to when I want to find out a stat quickly is to go to Kill Team Battlekit, at least for those teams. So yes, he still doesn't have all the teams on. Understood. But it is a one-stop shop for almost everything you need during the game, and I find it much more easy to navigate and quick to use during the game than using the official app. And I think it's going to be really interesting the way people go with this, because I know there are some people who are like, I don't like apps at all, I like to use a book. Well, that isn't really an option for most of the teams in this game, unless you're only going to play teams released, since Hivestorm. You don't have a book. You have PDFs, you have the official app, or you have third-party apps. And for me, this is my answer to how I'm actually going to look at my rules during a game. And it's also all got all that sort of in-game scorecard tracking things. And it is actually quite quick and easy to go from your in-game dashboard to look up a rule, to go back to the in-game dashboard to add a CP or to add a point. It just works. Now, there are some downsides that I want to go through with you, things that I don't like about Kill Team Battlekit, right? First of all, it's not produced by Games Workshop. How much better could this be if Games Workshop gave it their seal of approval and sent the rules over to be put into Battlekit early before they were released to the rest of the world? That'd be good. So the official app always has this thing where it's going to have things beforehand, right? Or it should do. And also, if you're in a real argument with somebody, I suppose somebody might be like to say, oh, well, that's just the wording on this website you're using that I've never heard of. What does the official app say? So probably have the official app on your phone or tablet, whatever you're using as well, so that if somebody wants to really argue the toss, you can point and say, no, look, the rule's the same, here you go, and then move on with your life. You do have to be online to use it, which is a pain in the backside. So you can, on Chrome anyway, you can download Battlekit and install it as an app, which I think is worth doing, and it puts a little app icon on your Android device's home screen. and then when you press that, you get the web-based experience, but it's just in its own app, so that you don't accidentally like navigate away to your email or wherever else you might go to. And I do recommend that you do that, because the worst thing with using a device during a game of Warhammer, any kind of Warhammer, is if you get distractions and things. But that doesn't actually download. It doesn't like download a snapshot of the app onto your phone. It just gathers the information off the internet as you ask for it. It would be nice, and I don't know an easy way to do it. I was wondering if there was like another third-party app for like downloading a snapshot of a website almost. But it would be really lovely if somehow it was possible to, in the same way with the Games Workshop app, you can download the things, and then when they have updates, it'll tell you that there's an update, and you can download it again when you next have internet. This just requires internet connection to work, which isn't going to be a problem most of the time. And then you'll be at some weird event somewhere you've never been before, and there'll be no internet, and there'll be no mobile phone reception, and what you're going to do, you're going to have to go back to playing with the official app, and that is annoying, right? I did notice while playing it, because I was playing Night Lords. So one of the things, before I started using this, in the last edition of the game, I used to use the cards as my rules reference, and I used to use the Kill Team, I think it's just called the Kill Team dashboard, right? The sort of black and orange one, right? Now that had one feature that I miss from the dashboard on this. So in that, for the old edition of the game, when you picked a team like Night Lords or Novitiates or Kazakin used to have a mechanic like this as well, or Hearthkin Jaegers, any of these teams with an extra thing of points to track, it would give you an extra tracker. It would bring up automatically an extra tracker, so you could track how many prescience points or things like that you had. I guess that would be a nice feature for this to have. Like, I had to use, it was just strange to use the app to track almost everything, and then I had just a dice sitting off by the side to do my prescience points. Like, it's not the end of the world. And likewise, one of the things I used to like with the cards was that you could put your equipment cards in front of you and go, these are my pieces of equipment that I'm using. I think it would be nice for the app somehow to have a thing for tracking the equipment rather than having to write it down on a piece of paper. Oh, I've got 2 crack grenades, I've used one, cross that off, I've got 1 crack grenade, that kind of thing. Those are nice to have. I'm going to keep using it for all my games without those things. And it's worth saying that, what are we comparing it to? If you're comparing it to the Kill Team app, the official Games Workshop Kill Team app, that doesn't even have a dashboard of any kind. That is literally just, it's becoming a meme, literally a PDF reader. But if you're kind of comparing it to the experience using the cards, sure, what cards allow you to do is to abstract, this is the equipment I'm actually using, these are the ploys I actually have, this is my one Tac Op, and put all those things in front of you. So it would just be nice to have a couple of extra pieces like that, but all that notwithstanding, I still think it's a fantastic app, and I'm going to use it for all of my games this edition. I think, anyway. Final thoughts. So, I'm really curious what you use for your rules reference and score tracking. Have you been using the official app? Maybe you've printed out all of the PDFs and made yourself a little compendium. I don't know. Maybe you've just got Warcom open and you scroll through the PDFs. Maybe you've got a different app. Maybe, I know some people like KT Dash. I just can't get on with the UI for KT Dash. I much prefer Battlekit to KT Dash. Don't want to start a fight. It's just the way that is. But yeah, how do you view the official app? Maybe you think it's really, really good and you can't understand why I am complaining about a free official app. And maybe for you, the officialdom is the point, and the fact that it has every, the things Games Workshop can leverage, it has every team, and it always will. It is word of God. It is always going to be the canonical correct answer, whereas there may be errors and things in any third-party thing, and that is also that's also a thing. I understand that. That is also a thing. People might also care about that. So, yeah. Let me know your thoughts on the issue. I want to say a big thank you to all my members, all my subscribers, and all my supporters. We're closing in on 2,000 subs, so that's awesome. I think we're about 40 off. Really amazing. So thank you again to all my subscribers, people that leave comments, people that support me financially by being members. I know that some of you were hoping for a second battle report today. I was hoping to play a second game of Kill Team today. Zimbad's not been sleeping well. Forgot, basically, that it was Tuesday to bring his Kill Team stuff into work with him. So, no battle report, no game for me. But maybe next week on Tuesday, if you're all really good, there'll be another battle report in the same vein as the one we did yesterday as well. So, you can look forward to that. But I hope this has been interesting and informative. If it has, give us a like. If it hasn't, give us a dislike. It's all engagement. I genuinely don't care. And I'll see you again next time. Cheery, 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 cheery. Bye.